So, I'm back in the US from Europe. And if you were following some of my other videos, you know how much of an adventure getting around that was. Anyway, I just wanted to let everybody on this page know that you're going to start seeing some new and different content on here. I talk a lot on my personal page about being autistic, but in light of the fact that I've had several people who've interviewed me and other people that are just fans that have commented about how inspiring it is that I share my story about being autistic and what that's like for me in the music industry, I'm going to start putting some of that content here, because I think one of the most important things we can do as musicians is use our platform for something important. And this is important. A lot of people realize that there's programs out there for autistic kids. The problem they don't realize is that there's no programs for autistic adults. And people have this notion that once you turn 18 and you're an adult, that you should just be able to manage. We don't grow out of being autistic. We don't grow out of some of the needs that we have. We do learn how to better cope with certain things. We do learn how to navigate some of our needs in a better way. But there's some things that we just will always need help with. And so I want to focus on that, on autistic adults, because I think there's plenty of focus on kids and research when it comes to children, but us adults need help too. So I'm going to focus on that. The other thing is that there's a lot of content creators out there that talk about being autistic as an adult. Their content is mostly about what it's like to be autistic, and which is great to get that information out there, but nobody's talking about solutions. Nobody's talking about how do we change the way our society perceives autistic adults. Nobody talks about how we can be more inclusive of neurodivergent adults within the workforce or the community and what that looks like. We're so focused on getting ourselves accepted as neurodivergent adults that we don't open up the floor for discussion or even education on solutions. And so I'd really like to focus on solutions and what that looks like from my perspective, for employers, for educators, for the general public. Everybody thinks that just because I work and I have a degree and I'm pursuing a master's degree and I'm a musician and all these things, that I can easily navigate this world. And that's so far from the truth. And people have no idea what I've had to go through to be what I am today. And even now I struggle with it a lot, way more than people realize I do. And I'm really good at hiding that, but I shouldn't have to. And if certain things were available to me in the community, or even just certain realizations from the general public, that would make my life a lot easier. And it probably wouldn't have taken me as long as it has to get to the point where I'm at. So, I do have other autistic relatives that are younger than me, and I would like to leave them with a society that's better suited for them than what it was for me. And that's important. I know people that have autistic children or autistic teenagers or young autistic adults, and I want to help pave the way for them, because I know what they're up against when they grow up. And I know what they're going to struggle with and what they're going to face and the challenges that come with it, and how impatient people are, and why it's so difficult for autistic people to find meaningful relationships. And it's not because we can't have them, but it's because, quite frankly, there's not enough people that are patient with us. And there's not enough people that are willing to get to know us and to learn our communication style and why direct communication is such a necessity. If we had that, we'd have beautiful relationships and friendships and partnerships, and it would be so much easier for us to be social. But we don't have that. So you're gonna see more content like that on here, because being autistic for me is never going to change. And if I'm going to continue to be a musician as well, I need to support something worthwhile with my platform and really not just build a fan base from your average person, but if I have people out in the world that are telling me that I'm inspiring, I have a duty and a responsibility to continue to do that work. So stay tuned. We're going to talk a lot more